Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Nico, this is Niko's Book Reviews, and today I am doing the Choose Your Own Adventure Fantasy Characters tag. This was a tag that I saw, it looks like several booktubers collaborated on. I saw it in one of the Discord servers I'm in. It has taken me some time to get to it, but it sounded like a lot of fun, so I wanted to make sure that I did. I will link the lot of the people who were involved with it in the description below, since it sounds like they kind of collaborated together to create the tag, so I want to give them all credit. But with that, let's get into it. So there are 9 questions. I'll also have the questions linked down in the description, and it's choosing different characters based on certain prompts or traits. So number 1 is, who is your fantasy twin, and or really just who's somebody, a fantasy character that you can relate to. As a side note, I'm going to try to not only do Wheel of Time and or Stormlight characters. But anyway, I say that because the first one is a Wheel of Time character, and I went with Rand. And I know it probably sounds weird, but actually the worst parts of Rand, I totally got. And when he's kind of like off on his own and just kind of being a loner and not wanting to have any emotions and just kind of like do everything there, like I totally got that, especially when I first read Wheel of Time. I was younger, and I've always been not the most emotional person, and Rand has to learn that it's okay to have feelings, and sometimes I forget to have feelings, you know. My wife would really tell you that, but so I picked Rand for that one because I could definitely relate. Number 2 is the hero prompt, and it's who's somebody that you wish you could be like. So I actually put Adolin here, and I am aware that it's technically Adolin, but it even breaks down in the book Ado and Lynn, so I'm sticking with Adolin. But I picked that rant over. Picked Adolin because more as I got further into Stormlight, and it was reinforced in, I feel like, every book. He is just a character that is always trying his best to help make other people around him better. And he's just like the least selfish character. He starts very differently, and I get why people weren't a big fan of him in book 1, but he kind of just steps back and tries to make other people better, and I think that's, you know, a pretty admirable trait. Just, he's not thinking about himself, he's like, how can I make the people I care about better and make them happy? And I think those are pretty awesome traits. So, number 3 is, who would you choose to be your champion from fantasy characters? Now here I do have to have a disclaimer, because I did not pick Kaladin, even though Kaladin is a great answer. And I watched some of the other videos, and Kaladin was a popular choice. But I picked Dalinar, and I don't really want to spoil anything, but Dalinar as a champion just seemed fitting. And I feel like, although I love Kaladin, and he is my favorite Stormlight character by a lot, I just feel like he has kind of more weaknesses. Dalinar, even though he's kind of more human in a lot of ways, I just feel like he would find a way to make it happen. Like, he's gonna figure it out. So I went with Dalinar for my champion. Number 4 is an unlikable character, a character you love to hate. This was super easy. Thomas Covenant from Stephen R. Donaldson's Thomas Covenant, Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever. He is a terrible person and just does some terrible things. And I still so enjoyed the books, and kind of that's a huge theme, is exploring such an unlikely hero in a very different way, who actually is, you know, a crappy person and is really mean and doesn't care about others. And it was such a shock to the system as far as a different kind of style of fantasy, but I loved that first trilogy so much I still need to read the second trilogy, and so that was a pretty easy one for me as well. Number 5 is Tavern Buddy. Who would you want to hang out and have a drink with? And there's no other answer but Matt from Wheel of Time. 100%. He spends all his time in taverns anyway for half the series, so he's already going to be there. I'll go hang out, and maybe some of his luck will rub off on me, and I'll win some money dicing or something. But 100% has to be Matt. So, number 6 is the villain prompt, and who is a villain that you would not want to cross paths with? I thought about this because there are so many villains that obviously you wouldn't want to cross paths with. But I was really thinking about the villain that would just stop at nothing if wronged, and that made me think of the Falconer from the Gentleman Bastards. And I really, really, really loved the Falconer as a villain in the first book, and then kind of with what happens to that character and their thirst for vengeance just seemed like they're going to find a way to destroy you and your life. So probably best to not cross paths with the Falconer. And then we have number 7, the mentor part, and who's somebody that you feel like you could learn from or you'd want to be mentored by. I picked Sazed from Mistborn. Just was the first person I thought of who's just seemed to be a very wise character. Was still very human, made mistakes, but always trying to look and do the best thing. And I feel like that'd be a good mentor type character that I quite liked. Then we have number 8, which is the Samwise prompt. And so who is a character that you could trust with your life and or would want to be best friends with? So I picked one for each because they're definitely different. As far as trust my life with, I went with Caden from Lycanius. Caden was such a unique character in a lot of ways in the Lycanius trilogy, and I really liked what was done, but Caden as Caden, which I'm not going to get into any more to avoid spoilers, but Caden is Caden. I just feel like he's going to stop at nothing to try to figure it out and save you if you're in danger, or if your life is in danger, so I would definitely trust Caden. As far as like characters, and I picked 2, so I'm double cheating for this one, but characters that I'd love to be best friends with, I went with Crowley and Aziraphale from Good Omens, because they just seem like they would be the most fun and such a riot to hang out with. So that would be a whole lot of fun. I wouldn't mind hanging out with them and getting into all kinds of supernatural trouble. Seems like that would be fun. And finally, number 9, found family prompt, which is if you could give a character, it was unclear if this was adopt specifically or give a character a home, but basically somebody who should not be on their own in their story needs a good home. And I went with Kip from Lightbringer, just because there are a lot of like orphan type characters that would definitely work here. But when I read Lightbringer, it was Kip's like backstory was just really terrible, and there were all of these deep moments that kind of went back to his life, and I'm like, Kip, he deserves a home. So that's what I went with for that one. So that is the Choose Your Own Adventure Fantasy Characters tag. As always, I don't usually tag a lot of people. It's just, if you see this, you want to do this, absolutely go for it. Once again, I linked the original creators of this. If you do the tag, definitely let me know. I would love to watch yours. That said, that is this video. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Check out the link to the Discord if you do want to chat books in general. And don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more of my content.